Adam, for being our friend. Thank you for imparting your wisdom and to helping me be a better command chief. I think that you know that any of the things that I have done in my career as a command chief on the positive side have been thanks to you. You know, we spent a lot of time talking to each other, even after I left McGuire, and you mean the world to me, brother. And I was going to say right here, we talk about it a lot. A lot of people hear me say this on this base. We don't talk about this in PME, but what we do is about love, folks. It's about love for your fellow airmen. It's about love for what we do as Americans. It's about love for each other. And Chachi talked about it this week. You know, my exec said, wow, he sounds a lot like you because I'm a carbon copy of you, brother. And thank you for that, man. I love you, man, so I want all of you to welcome, put your hands together, and welcome Chief Tim Chachi. They're yours, man.
Can't start this by crying. Thank you to everyone for having me here tonight. I am Chachi, Chief Tim Pachesa, and I've been very honored to be Osan Air Base's guest this week, and I'm even more honored to be your guest speaker tonight. Before I get into my formal remarks, please let me start with some thank yous. First, a thank you to the club staff, the Joint Honor Guard, and the 8th Army Band. You made tonight a great event and a night that we'll cherish for years to come. How about a round of applause? To General and Mrs. Wilsbach, General, Mrs. Pilch, thank you for having me here and for allowing me to speak tonight. It feels amazing to be back in the warm embrace of 7th Air Force. To Chief Master Sergeant and Mrs. Hudson, Phil and Soon, you're amazing. I love you. Allie and I miss you both, and thank you for letting me be here tonight. Your friendship is one of the things I cherish most in life. Your leadership is beyond measure, and being around you truly restores my soul. To Colonel and Mrs. Betts, Colonel and Mrs. Friedel, thank you as well for your hospitality and for letting me meet the great airmen of the 51st Fighter Wing this week. Having been stationed at Osan for all of 2010, it feels awesome to reconnect with the men and women who help defend the Korean skies. To Chief Master Sergeant and Mrs. Veazey, as always, being around you is pure joy. Adam, you were one of the first two people I met when I left basic training for tech school. And your continued friendship, your motivation, and your love for airmen has permeated my life and has enriched my career in ways I never thought possible. It has been the honor of a lifetime to be your teammate, and an even greater honor to be your friend. Thank you. To Colonel and Mrs. Wright, Sergeant Major and Mrs. Suarez, thank you for being great teammates of Osan Air Base, and thank you for letting us help celebrate the accomplishments of your amazing soldiers. To our host nation partners, to Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Ra Young Cheng, your attendance tonight honors us all, and we are humbled by your commitment to our partnership by celebrating with us this evening. To Command Chiefs Kim Min-hee, Yang Jin-hee, and Kim Young-bae, thank you for supporting your U.S. allies and for taking part in tonight's event. How about another round of applause? To everyone I haven't mentioned to make tonight possible, especially the Osan Air Base Chiefs Group and the Spouses Group, job well done. Thank you very much. To all the other commanders, officers, chiefs, first sergeants, senior NCOs, airmen, soldiers, Rockout partners, teammates, family, and friends, thank you for being here tonight and to celebrate our newest Chief Master Sergeants and Sergeants Major. Your continued support will sustain them as they utilize their new superpowers for increased global awesomeness. And to our honorees, congratulations. Job well done. Yeah, round of applause. I've had about 2 months to think about what I might possibly say tonight, what advice I might give, what warnings I could share, what words of wisdom I could possibly provide, what I could possibly challenge you with. So I settled on this. There's a problem that I need you to fix. And the problem is this. Many leaders today apply legacy and archaic leadership philosophies without any thought of how warfare has evolved in the past 20 years, and it's crushing our youngest generation of warriors. For thousands of years, we waged war, and we knew how to fight. Force-on-force battles, high-intensity conflict, hand-to-hand combat. For hundreds of years, we knew what communication on the battlefield meant. Carrier pigeons, specific command flags on the battlefield, distinct bugle calls. In the past 100 years, we saw the birth of the airplane, the birth of the Air Force, and our resultant divorce from the Army. Sorry, Army, we wanted a younger, sexier, more vibrant service. No hard feelings. We saw the dawn of nuclear weapons. We put a man on the moon. We showed everyone that despite our divorce, what an absolutely devastating team the integration of ground forces and air power can be. But for 2 decades now, we've watched warfare evolve, and our teams have suffered because many leaders didn't question the old ways, and we didn't challenge the status quo. We didn't challenge the old go-to phrases. You know the ones I'm talking about. Don't ask why, just do what you're told. Do as I say, not as I do. Oh, you have a suggestion? That's cute. You're just an airman. Shut up, Private. You can speak when you're a sergeant. You're not paid to think. If the military wanted you to have a family, they would have issued you one. Or even these. No gays allowed. Women in combat? Enlisted patch wearers? Never. Right, Chief Easy? Enlisted pilots? Absolutely not. Do some of these sound familiar? Now, in all fairness, we made great strides in some of these areas. Female pilots and women in combat, bring it on. They have been a dominant force on the battlefield and in the skies since they started shattering glass ceilings. Well done, ladies. The repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell? About damn time. I'm proud to say that one of my oldest friends in the military can finally openly serve. And it's an honor to have him with me here tonight. Master Sergeant Nicholas Peacock, thank you for your 21 years of continuous service. And it's an honor to have your husband serve in my squadron. Enlisted patch wearers and enlisted pilots are here, and they're helping fuel the fight in ways that were unimaginable when I came in. But what I'm talking about tonight is some of the philosophical stuff I mentioned. Because as an airman, I remember thinking, don't tell me to shut up. I'm your teammate, and I deserve a better understanding of warfare too. And why not lie? If I'm going to lay my life on the line, you had better tell me why. And don't relegate me to the rank I am. Treat me like who I could eventually become, and perhaps become that only with your help. But you see, in the past, I understood why these things had to happen. I understood the environmentals of that time, but that time is gone. Then one day, a little over 4 years ago, I became a Chief Master Sergeant, a 1%er. The highest rank an enlisted man or woman could ever aspire to. And I instantly realized that those 20 years ago, when Airman First Class Machason was at Fort Bragg, that my leaders had missed the mark. They ignored the human aspect. They had no concept of the human weapons system, no understanding of motivational theory. They blindly applied the leadership philosophies that were prevalent back then, that were beat into them without any questioning or reasoning about their application in a constantly evolving battle space supporting the global enterprise that we see today. In short, they did what they had always done, and in return, they got what they'd always gotten. And in that moment of clarity, I realized that, in the words of Benjamin Franklin, if better is possible, good is not enough. And what I'm about to say isn't about a kinder, gentler military. This isn't about millennials or any of that. This is about understanding what is at play, what is important in today's military, and what is legacy garbage. So with that, I started questioning everything. Why this and why that? Could I explain why to everybody? Should I explain it? And must I explain it? Should I ask our lower-ranking warriors for their opinions and allow them to share their perspective before I shared mine? Could we lead better? Can we evolve as leaders? Can we revolutionize the way we lead modern warriors based on the advancements in communication and technology to take our military to unrivaled heights? Yes. Hell yes. More than yes, we had better do these things. Even more so, answering yes to these questions supplemented a leadership theory that I have been working on for several years, and thus gave me a new understanding of contemporary leadership philosophy. Not only were the E9s for my youth speaking from the wrong book of philosophy, but they were using the wrong words too. My wing commander at Ali al-Salim, Colonel Steve Hodge, was fond of saying, words is important. So here's where I think you can fix, or at least help fix, the current application of archaic leadership philosophy. 1, people matter. There's an age-old debate of what's more important, the people or the mission. Well, I don't really want to touch this very sensitive topic that has competing schools of thought. I'll leave you with this analogy based on the upcoming Super Bowl. You can't win Super Bowls if your people don't want to take the field. 2, words matter. Ask yourself, for all those centuries of hearing bugle calls or seeing flags on the battlefield, were soldiers trained to be disciplined, or were we forcing them to be obedient? Have you thought about that? Are we disciplined? Does sexual assault happen in a well-disciplined force? Does drug use, drinking and driving, domestic abuse? What about your understanding of the word motivation? Have you thought to yourself about the difference between internal and external motivation? Are you relying on your warriors to be internally motivated without purposeful thought about how you can help them be or stay motivated? And moreover, do you know the difference between what motivates your warriors and what truly inspires them? I think that we need to re-examine the words we use and make sure that we aren't just demanding obedience, but that we're instilling discipline, that we're motivating and also inspiring. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with discipline, and I'm not saying that you don't need to command obedience. I'm just asking you to know the difference and know how it applies and when. I'm not saying that you should always seek to inspire and not motivate. I just want you to put conscious thought toward your understanding of what environment you are or aren't shaping for your team. And lastly, 3, be capable of personal and professional evolution. I don't care about change management. I care about evolutionary leadership. You shouldn't be changing for the sake of change. You should be in tune to your surroundings, understanding the environmentals affecting you and your team. You're evolving to find success. You're evolving to a modern battlefield with technology-savvy warriors in a technology-driven enterprise. So I say to you, my beloved Chief Master Sergeants and Sergeants Major, your chiefliness, your majesty. In the words of Sun Tzu, regard your warriors as your children, and they will follow you into the deepest valley. Look upon them as your own beloved sons, and they will stand by you even unto death. Take a hard look at your teams. Make a decision right here, right now, that you will look past their current rank. And please understand that one day, not so long ago, you wore those stripes. And you wanted to know why. You wanted someone to develop you, to groom you, to mentor you, and to look beyond who you were and see what you might eventually become. You wanted someone to see the human behind the uniform, who has a family and kids and dreams and aspirations and personal problems and financial woes and flat tires and sick kids and dead pets and unrelenting blizzards or hurricanes and PTSD and one more deployment and the loss of a friend and teammate. So go forth. Be that 1% that lets go of legacy BS, who knows that people matter, that words matter, that you are capable of personal and professional evolution. And when you do that, you will have solved my problem. And if you can roger up to what I've presented tonight, if you promise to understand people, words, and evolution, then when I wear my uniform for the last time here, in about 4 months, I can retire with a full heart and the confidence that our military is indeed in good hands. And I'll know that our youngest generation will have a voice and that you will listen, that you will allow them to share their perspective without judgment or ridicule, and that you will care for them, not just as airmen or soldiers, but as human beings. And I'll know that the new generation of leaders won't make the same mistakes that my generation did, and they definitely will make the same mistakes that the generation before me made. And I'll be able to know that one day, not so long ago, I walked among giants. I served with leaders that cared, sought input, shared information, purposefully groomed and developed people, looked past youth, inexperience, and limited perspective, and realized that right or wrong or indifferent, we have different people serving in a different military with different circumstances, different technology, and different expectations. And sitting with my wife and sons many years from now, I know that the men and women we're celebrating here tonight made a true difference. And the world will see it. And the world will thank you for it.